Ought the secret of the giant statues of Easter Island still be unknown? How did people with such simple tools carve and move these massive stones for miles? And above all, why did they build them? Some mysteries only grow deeper with time. Far away in the middle of the Pacific Ocean lies a small island called Easter Island, or Rapa Nui in the local tongue, a place where silence carries ancient stories. In 1722, when the Dutch explorer Jacob Roggeveen first landed there, he expected nothing more than a lonely piece of land. But what he saw was astonishing. Hundreds of towering stone figures with serious faces and eyes gazing toward the sky. They called them Moai. Each statue stands between 4 and 10 meters tall, some weighing over 80 tons. Believe it or not, they were carved out of a volcanic hill called Rano Raraku. But how? Even today, with cranes and modern machines, moving an 80-ton sculpture isn't easy. Now imagine doing it 1,000 years ago, with ropes, wood, and bare hands. And yet, that's only part of the mystery. Archaeologists believe the Moai were first created around the year 1100 AD. At that time, the island was lush and fertile, covered with giant trees and home to thriving communities. The Rapa Nui people lived in harmony with nature. Farming, fishing, and holding sacred rituals were all part of their daily life. The Moai most likely were built to honor their ancestors and divine leaders. Each statue represented a guardian spirit watching over the tribe. But the story didn't end there. Over time, rival clans began competing to build bigger and more impressive statues. Each wanted their Moai to stand taller, a symbol of pride and power. Slowly, the island's resources were drained. Trees were cut down to make rollers and platforms for the statues. And that led to massive soil erosion, weaker crops, and eventually famine and conflict. By the 15th century, almost every tree on the island had disappeared, confirmed today by soil and pollen studies. The result was the collapse of an entire ecosystem. Still, the people didn't give up. As the environment declined, their culture evolved. Instead of carving new statues, they created a new belief, the cult of the Birdman. In this ritual, brave men would climb down steep cliffs to retrieve the first egg of a sacred seabird. Whoever succeeded was crowned the Tangata Manu, the Birdman. It was their way of adapting to a changing world. But fate had more in store for them. When Europeans arrived in the 18th century, diseases and slave raids devastated the remaining population. From about 15,000 people, fewer than 1,000 survived. And yet, the Moai remained. Silent but unbroken. Centuries later, archaeologists discovered something even more surprising. Most of the Moai aren't just heads. Beneath the ground lie full torsos, some buried several meters deep. What we thought were giant heads are actually complete human-like figures. In the 1950s and 60s, explorers like Thor Heyerdahl led detailed studies. They confirmed that the statues were carved from volcanic tuff, a softer rock, using only simple stone tools. Each statue could take weeks, even months to carve. But one question still lingered. How were they moved? In the 2010s, a team of researchers recreated a Moai and proved it could actually walk. By pulling from both sides with ropes, the statue rocked forward step by step. They called it the walking Moai theory, and it made perfect sense. In fact, the word Moai itself means the face that stands. So maybe they really did walk, at least in the eyes of the people who made them. Interestingly, almost all the statues face inward, toward the villages, not toward the sea. As if they were built to protect their people, not to scare outsiders. Only one group, the 7 Moai at Ahuakivi, looks out to the ocean, perhaps to welcome ancestral spirits or travelers. Still, the story of Easter Island isn't just about statues. It's about humanity itself. It's about how ambition and pride can be both a sign of greatness and a cause of destruction. Today, scientists often describe Easter Island as a miniature Earth, a closed system with limited resources, one that can collapse if we overuse what we have. The ecological fall of Rapa Nui is now a classic case study in environmental science. It stands as one of the earliest warnings about the dangers of unsustainable growth. But beyond that, the human spirit of Rapa Nui lives on. In 1995, the entire island was declared a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Around 8,000 people live there today, and the Rapa Nui language is still taught in schools. And the Moai? They still stand, proud and timeless, under the same sky they've watched for 1,000 years. At night, when the wind moves through the dry grass, you can almost feel history breathing among the stones. And maybe the real mystery isn't how the Moai were built, but why? Why do humans always feel the need to leave a mark, even in the most remote corners of the world? Maybe because deep down, we all want to be remembered, to be seen. And perhaps every generation is just another Moai, silent, strong, waiting for someone in the future to ask, "How did you build all this, and why?" Now it's our turn. We must learn from Easter Island that greatness without awareness always comes at a cost. And in today's world, that message matters more than ever. So maybe it's time we ask ourselves, what kind of monuments are we building? And what will the next generation remember us for? If this story made you think, tell me in the comments. What do you believe is the true secret of Easter Island? Was it just an ancient civilization, or something far more mysterious?